Hey, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to do a little bit of maintenance on our outdoor water heater. So this is the Renai outdoor water heater. We need to descale it. You're supposed to do it once a year. It gets, calcium and buildup and things like that inside the unit. And so we're gonna use vinegar and we're gonna clean that out. We're gonna show you how. Here's what you need. You need a kit that actually has a pump. So the pump's gonna help move the vinegar through. You're gonna need vinegar, 3 to 4 gallons of white distilled vinegar. You're gonna need that. And you're gonna need a couple of connection lines that you can connect to your ports and a bucket. That's it. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna cut your power off. I did that at the breaker and I cut the power off. The second thing you're gonna do is shut your gas off. And so your gas should be right here running in from your yellow line. Next, you're gonna shut off the 2 isolation valves. So you're gonna turn that one. Same thing here, turn your blue one. And so now no new water is gonna go into the house. You're gonna put a bucket underneath your isolation valves, which are these. So these valves right here, you're gonna put a bucket under them because once you take off these caps and we turn these open, there's gonna be some little bit of water left in the unit and you wanna basically let the water inside this unit drain out. So the next thing I'm gonna do is hook up these hoses. I have a blue one and a red one that came with my kit. I'll put a link in the description below for the kit. You can see that this valve is closed. If you look inside the gold ball in there, it's closed now. I'm gonna connect this to it right now. So that way, when I open this valve, the water that leaks out will go right into this bucket. So now you're gonna open these purge valves, and this should take the water that's inside the unit, and you're gonna do this for both the hot water and cold water. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of a wrench to open that up. And that should get your unit open. And so it's open. And so we're gonna do the exact same thing with the blue. Now you're gonna take your pump and you're gonna connect your blue water line to your pump and set that in your bucket. And you're gonna leave your red line on the bottom of the bucket. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna suck the vinegar up from here, through your blue line, through your closed circuit through here to clean it. Then it's gonna come back out your red line, because that's the circuit that's making, and it's gonna put the vinegar right back in the bucket, and it's gonna pull it back through again. You're gonna put about 4 gallons of undiluted vinegar directly in your bucket. Next, plug in your pump. Okay, so the pump is running, and you can see the water coming back through the line. It's not water, it's vinegar. Coming back through the line. You're gonna make sure that line stays at the bottom of this, and you're gonna let this sit for 45 minutes to an hour, and you can already see the water, the vinegar is already getting a little cloudy, and you can see some stuff in it. So that's exactly what you're doing with this, is you're getting all of that gunk out of your system. Okay, 1 hour later, we're still kicking vinegar through the system. We're gonna unplug our pump as our step 1, and we're gonna do everything in reverse. Unplug your plug. So the next thing you're gonna do is detach your hoses. So you'll have a little bit of runoff from that. Okay, I'm just gonna remove the pump. Set that to the side. Detach your other hose. Here you go. So the next thing we're gonna do is close both our purge valves and our service valves. So we're gonna close those. This one's a little bit tight, so I'm gonna gently use this to shut it to the off position. And if you're actually looking inside, you'll see that it'll go from black to brass, likely brass, depends on your system, I'm sure, but I'm just gonna close that. You're gonna do that make sure you do that all the way on both. So you can see mine's on right now. Gotta make sure to do it all the way. There we go. So you should see that all the way. Now you can see the steel ball that's in there. That's closing it out. So now that water is gonna run back through this line, through the system, and back into the hot water into the house. So you're gonna do that. Then you're gonna replace both your service caps. Those are just hand tightened caps. You don't want to do anything crazy with those, because nothing should ever really come out of those because these valves keep the water from going to them. It's just so you can use them as a service. So now you're going to reopen your main valves, which should just be a turn. And you'll hear the water go back through it again. So you'll do that, just like that. Okay. So now you're going to turn your gas back on. So which way that goes, there we go. So gas is back on now. So your hot water heater has gas to heat. And we're going to turn the power back on. And then we're going to go inside and we're going to run our hot water for about 2 to 3 minutes just to get all the air out of the lines and get it back working the way it should. Okay, so that's it. That's how you're going to descale and clean your hot water heater. This is the Rinnai version of it, but each one has a little bit different valves and things like that, but the system and process should remain the same. So look up yours if you have a different system. But that's it. Subscribe to our channel. Super Thanks is always welcome, and we'll see you next time.